been very vocal in the last couple of days about this, and I completely understand. I think the biggest problem for people like me is I'm not black, I'm white. And trying to understand the scale of this rage is not easy for me, but it is for you. Explain why this is boiling over in the way that it is.
Because police brutality in America has existed against black people specifically and in a disproportionate way has existed since the creation of America almost 250 years ago. This is a problem that has not gone anywhere despite protests for 2 centuries. This is something that we don't fully get here in the UK, because I want people watching to just imagine. Right now here in the UK, the majority of people, when they see a police officer or they see a police car, they think that person is there to protect me. They think that person would never hurt me unless I was doing something wrong. And they know that even if theoretically they were bad, they don't have guns, so they're unlikely to kill me. Whereas if you're in America and you see police officers who the statistics show are disproportionately kill unarmed black people more than any other race, we're talking about black people making up 13% of the population, but being 39% of those who are unarmed when they are shot and killed by American police officers. Imagine seeing people who you know have a propensity to killing you every single day, armed with the weapons to do so. Imagine seeing the footage of somebody with their knee on the neck of a black man as he lies on the floor, begging for his life, and knowing that that can happen to you, and that he's only charged with third-degree murder, when it is very clear that his life was in danger, yet the police officer continued anyway.
I mean, we're just seeing the photograph of it, Femi. I have to admit, I couldn't bring myself to watch the video. The poor man.
We watched a black man being murdered by a white police officer.
Pleading for his life.
On camera.
I can't breathe, he says repeatedly.
He called for his mother.
On 2 occasions, he calls for his mother. I mean, honestly, Femi, for you watching that, you know, it breaks my heart. But as you say, I'm not someone who's threatened by it. I mean, what must that be like to watch?
It is very angering. Now, the thing is, it comes down to an issue of privilege. Even me myself, because I have this platform, I'm comfortable financially, got myself a law degree, so I will never experience the full extent of the adversity that black people, especially poor black people in America, are facing. So even I can't fully comprehend it. But it is something that they experience every single day, and the politicians are not making it better. We've seen, I mean, even Donald Trump, about 2 years ago, he went in front of a police academy and said, you know, when you're putting a suspect into a car and you put your hand over their head to protect their head, you can take the hand away. That's the President of the United States specifically advocating allowing suspects to be injured as they're placed into police vehicles, which is precisely what happened here, leading directly to the death of George Floyd.
I want to bring in Ben Ferguson. Ben, look, I mean, I can't imagine you want for a moment to defend the video that we've all seen of George Floyd being killed, right?
No, and look, there's one thing that came out of this. If there's anything that was, I guess you could say, good, there was absolute unity nationwide. Republican, conservative, liberal, Democrats, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, all agreeing that this was a murder. You had the full weight of the U.S. government investigating at the federal, at the state, at the local, at the Justice Department level. This was, if there's anything that was good that came out of this, nationwide, everyone saw it the same way.
What is bad?
They saw an innocent man.
Ben, what was bad to me was that at that moment, as the nation reacts in the way that it was reacting, what it needed was the President of the United States to cool things down, to address the American people and to lower the temperature. Instead, Donald Trump did what he so often does. He poured fuel onto the fire. He cited a racist policeman from the 60s who'd advocated looting leads to shooting, basically telling black Americans who were protesting, we're going to start shooting you people. Now, I don't support the looting. I don't support the rioting. I never think that helps anything. But I do understand the rage and the anger, and I do understand that when the President of the United States tweets something that inflammatory, it's going to make things 10 times worse. Why does he do that? Why doesn't he just cool things down?
Let's be clear. When the president tweeted that out, he was directly talking about what was happening at that moment in time. And if you're here in the U.S. and you are seeing what's happening, you would have known he was talking about massive looting, massive fires, and riots. They were not at that point peaceful protesting. You're at a point now where Target, the stores that have been ransacked, are closing all over the country.
But many
Target
of the protests,
and Walmart.
Ben,
Let me finish.
Ben, many of the protests were peaceful. They've not got the same attention.
Piers,
and
are you seeing what I'm seeing on your
should be
TV right
calming
now?
things down, not inflaming them.
Well, we've done the calm thing now for day 6 now. It's clearly not working. New York City is being torched right now as we speak. Sacramento is being torched as we speak. San Bernardino being torched. Washington State being torched. Philadelphia being torched right now as we speak in this country. Where I sit with you tonight, there are buildings that are burning. The majority of them are owned by African-American business owners. In my hometown of Memphis right now, you have interstates being shut down, people being trapped in their cars, and people whose windows are being smashed out as we speak. So when the president used the word, talking about these thugs, a same word that Barack Obama used, by the way, when we had riots in Baltimore. Let's not forget that. There are people that are out of control that are not being peaceful. And the president was using those words directly towards them. There are many Americans right now that are fearful and terrified of what's going on.
He's still not addressed the American people. I mean, I find that utterly ridiculous and shameful.
How do you say that? That's just not true, Piers.
Sorry, he's not given a single...
absolutely addressed the American people.
No, I mean an address from the Oval Office down the barrel of the camera to cool America down. Instead, he's given a few off-the-cuff comments and a series of inflammatory tweets in which it implies that he's more concerned about the looting than he was about a black American man being murdered on camera by a white policeman.
That is just not accurate. The first statement. Let me finish. I'm in America, and if we're going to talk about this, then listen to what's happening here. The president went on camera, had a press conference, and made it abundantly clear that the full force of the U.S. government was going to go after these police officers. He said the DOJ and the FBI, and he said it on camera at the White House. It is untrue to say the president did not respond.
He has not given, as you know, he has not given an address to the American people. And it's now day 6 of America burning.
Femi, let's hear from Femi. Femi, what responsibility does President Trump have in this situation?
You do not calm down the anger over a black man being killed by saying we're going to shoot more of you for being angry about it. That is not the logical way to calm things down.
That's just not true. You're inciting violence and people like you by saying things like that are not true.
Sorry.
The President of the United States of America never said that. That is a lie.
No.
Be responsible with your words.
The United States quoted a racist policeman
chief
from the 60s who was known to be racist, who actually set dogs onto black Americans at the time.
And said, we don't mind being accused of police brutality. I mean, that's who he was quoting in that tweet.
And again, I have to bring it...
Look at the first part of that statement. Read it right there. What did the president say? He was referring to those that were attacking innocent people, attacking business owners, attacking a woman in a wheelchair, for goodness sakes, on live TV. He was trying to defend a business. And you're going to say that the president shouldn't say that?
What he could have done,
we're going to hold these people accountable?
What he could have done and what he should have done was get in the Oval Office, address the American people and say, I've just watched this video. It's one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. This has been going on for too long.
I understand why you're angry.
I understand your pain. I understand your anger. I understand your rage. I don't want people to be looting and burning buildings, but I am going to get this sorted.
Femi,
you can't do it.
Femi, you were just answering on that question.
The Rose Garden.
Femi.
The president said that.
I have to bring it back to the fact that Donald Trump has specifically fueled this kind of police brutality. Every time we've seen a black person who was innocent killed by the police officers over the past few years, including before he was elected, his only response was law and order.